finish counting down.
All right, are you guys ready for some Super Metroid? And we're only seeing Slaughter's timer. I'm not sure if that's and we're off to everybody's favorite part of the game, the Ceres space station.
Well, with this part, all you need to do is take damage from Ridley, especially from his tail, since that actually does more damage than getting body hits from Ridley's body. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the intro stage for Mega Man X, where you don't actually defeat the intro boss as well. But I personally, when I speedrun this game like way back, I always made a save that started on Criteria, because this part of the game, it's I won't say it's boring, but it's just like, for me, the game really starts when you're on Zebes, like when you're on the planet. That's when you get to kill all the animals and stuff.
I love saving the animals since they are canon. Well, actually, you can't really say that you're saving the animals since Mama Turtle doesn't escape also.
Yeah, and talking about cannons, I'd love to use my cannon to kill those animals. But yeah, they're kind of cannon for fusion, I think. So you're saving some of the animals, but like the rest, just screw them. All right, and that was the Ceres space station. Ooh, and a 38.
It's a four-way race, the real as Ashol. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, sorry.
Wow, and we have some sync on the screen of Slaughter's and Karen. So that's nice. Setting down the ship in a fierce Criterion thunderstorm.
Starting with criteria since we're playing vanilla, we're all going to the right side Brainstar to get the Morph Ball, the Super Miss, not the Super Missiles, the wrong side. The missiles. Then we're heading back up the Red Tower. We got Moonfall from Canadian Owl.
And only Canadian Owl for some reason. Like, I thought the Moonfall was something that's relatively well known. So I thought everybody would use the Moonfall at this point in the game.
It's a quite tricky trick to actually do, since the precise timing that you got jump at the last second. So since the Moonfall trick actually increase your fall very fast, so you can shoot downward to on the right side to shoot a platform that's near the bottom, so it disappears.
Yeah, it's really cool. The floor tiles get kind of messed up as well, so it looks pretty cool. And it saves about 4 seconds, maybe 5. I read that somewhere. I'm not completely sure on it. And here we see a very small mock ball. I really love the mock ball. It took me quite a while to actually learn it, because I didn't know you could release and repress the A button to do a short hop mock ball. So I just had to hit ceilings to actually be able to perform it. But when I learned that repressing trick, the sky became the limit, because the mock ball is just so awesome.
Yeah, the mock ball is pretty easy to do, since I still trying to figure out how to do where you, in the mock ball you don't actually have to press down twice to go into the mock ball. But all you gotta do is hold down the down button and it goes automatically, but I can't get that done.
Oh, that's the first time I've heard of it. I'm always double pressing everything. Wow, and we saw some nice climbing of the tower here.
Tour and climb, it could be a pain in the butt.
That's many of my runs have struggled there. Like it took me quite a while to actually become slightly confident in that room. And we're off to the first boss, the Bomb Chorizo, which I think is really cool. Like if you play if you play Super Metroid for the first time, you're like, oh, I get this item, and you think, oh, everything's good. And then you walk to the door, and the door closes, and then the statue crumbles, and oh shit, it's a boss battle. So that's yeah. I think as a kid this would be pretty scary.
No, I'm not thinking of Alcatraz, UNH. I actually talked to some of the runners about this and other people about the mock ball trick. Is that some people say that you don't actually need to hold down. I press the down button twice. You could just hold down when you touch the ground like Karen Kono did. It will automatically make it go into the into morph ball states. But I forgot how it's done exactly. But I did find a YouTube video that teaches you how to do the tricks for Super Metroid.
Yeah, that's great. I really love that's something I really like about the internet. Like combining YouTube and Discord, there's like people in general are so helpful, and they're just bent on everybody like growing together on this wonderful game. And yeah, this. I think I don't know if I haven't been a real big part of the Super Metroid community yet, but I figure it's pretty similar to the Mega Man community in that there's just whenever you ask a question, 10 people will pop up and provide an answer, and if text isn't clear enough, you can always go to YouTube, and there's details, tutorial videos, and everything. It's really great. Like I remember just playing it like 20 years ago, and it was like all discovery on your own. Like there was no like what's a mock ball? Like it was super crazy. But yeah, internet is really up this game so much, and watching players like Zoast, Cod Power, Oats and Ghost like take it to the absurd extremes, that's a thing of beauty. I think like playing this game at such a level, it becomes true art.
The back of mock ball is really hard to do, since I have enough trouble getting the mock ball into this room by itself. Also, getting the mock ball to the ice missiles.
Yeah, that mock ball out of this room, actually, like the jump out of it, it's still like it took me quite a while to even get it.
Way better than I could.
Well, it's just you just gotta practice a lot, and if you have like a good emulator or an SD to SNES, save and load roll makes such a big difference.
Ouch, Canadian Owl missed his mock ball back.
Oh, and a very nice mock ball from Sloders. I really like that one. It's kind of new, like the top total of screens that I had to watch before this was 2. So watching 4 screens at the same time it's intense.
No doubt. I actually soloed 4 racers on the combo race one time. That was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially because that takes 2 to 4 hours to complete, I guess. So that would be a long time of overseeing the different player. That would be pretty crazy. And I like how they skip over that missile here just to pick it up later. Like
Scarsnake missed his return mock ball.
Yeah, that is, for me, that's still a tough trick. Probably for a lot of players that's easy peasy, but for me it's still pretty. I mean, let's see if Sloders goes for the damage boost here. I love this damage boost. Oh, and he doesn't even shoot that enemy. That's cool. I always shoot that enemy and damage boost off the particles.
The one item that not many people like, that Sloders picking up, the Spazer. But in the later games, it's actually called the Wide Beam. Well, actually, that's what it's called on Fusion.
Yeah, because it looks slightly different. It's also more circular, so it's definitely wide. But yeah, I like the spacer. I think it was also I don't know if it was in Metroid 1, but I'm pretty sure it was on the Game Boy Metroid.
Are you talking about Zero Mission?
No, I meant like Metroid 2 on the Game Boy. It also had the spacer.
No, it did not.
Metroid 2 on the Game Boy did not have the spacer?
Nope.
Give me a second. I gotta check that because my memory says there is a spacer. Now I have to know.
Oh, never mind. I thought it didn't show up on Metroid 2 Samus Returns. So calculate.
Oh well, I'll check it later. It's not that important, but it's just... Okay, so here we have the first boss, the Kraid.
Are we gonna see the quick kill or taking Kraid to the dance floor? But some people like to call DLC.
Yeah, we just get to see the top part of Kraid, I think, for most players today. And there we have that luxurious bathing suit, which allows you to take the heat a little better.
Sometimes I actually do wonder, on the 100%, do runners just go straight to Kraid, or do they actually go up the tower to fight Phantoon?
Well, there's actually a number of items that require either high jump boots, or at least as far as I know, I think the one energy tank that you can get in the big room with all the water, where you need to use the grapple beam, or Nintendo intended it for you to use the grapple beam there. I think you need the high jump boots to reach that. And there's also and of course the next to the gravity suit room, so below the bowling alley, there's this room where you actually need the speed booster, and so that's why it's better for 100% to go to Kraid first, to Norfair, collect the speed booster, and then do Phantoon, because otherwise you'd have to backtrack to Wreck Ship, and that's just a big waste of time.
Ah, I see. Well, the two rooms before the Wreck Ship, you actually don't need to have the high jump boots, so, since there is two tricks that you can do to get over there. One is the horizontal not the horizontal. Actually, yeah, the horizontal bomb jump, and the CWJ, known as the continuous wall jump, to get over the swamp pool area.
Yeah, to get over the missile lake. Either it's called a horizontal bomb jump. Yeah, and the continuous wall jump, but that's a frame perfect trick into a 2-frame perfect or in 2-frame trick. So it's really like I've gotten it sometimes on the first try, but it's pretty rough, and I think that's why a lot of players also will not opt for doing the new route, because it's like I'm really bad at diagonal or horizontal.
Ooh, Scar Snake with the death before Kraid.
That is harsh. Will he continue? You know, get the link on Canadian Island Turns, pick up that missile after high jumps. Slower swing.
Up into your coming out. The sound check is sort of a little screwy.
Is my sound still bad?
You're good now.
Okay. Yeah, your voice sounded really distorted for me too. It might be my computer having some struggles. So yeah, I think Sloters has about a 3-room or 4-room, maybe 3 or 4-room lead. Picking up that luscious speed booster. This is one of my favorite items. Like, speed's even in the name. Like, this is so speedrunnery. It looks so cool, and the fact that you can store the energy of the running and then go up diagonal or horizontal with it, it's a true gem.
Not sure why, but it seems like I actually have a little problem with Discord. Seems to be disconnecting from the on air and connecting back in for some reason.
For you?
Yeah. Do you have the same problem?
No, I just had the distortion part a moment ago, but I'm all good. So,
And here we are getting the wave beam. That I'm not sure what the damage portion is with. Well, actually, with the since we don't have ice right now, I can't say that we are getting 300 damage from the beam combination.
yeah, my knowledge of the figures of damage is absolutely. The door on the other side opens. Like, what kind of magic is that? Nice.
Looks like we're lost on from the chat. They say that the calm is dead.
Even still?
Never mind.
Okay.
Hello, anybody hear us?
Yeah, I should probably open the speed gaming chat as well. Okay, so we good. All right. I love that spark. Like you could just wall jump up that wall, but I love shine sparking.
No doubt. To the grapple beam, a very useful trick. I actually, believe it or not, I actually seen someone basically grapple I grappled Croc. I never knew that you could do that.
Grapple what?
Grapple Croc. Crocomire.
Oh, you mean like in a randomizer?
Actually, the person did it on the practice ROM.
Oh, right, because in every other case, you'd never even get a chance to use grapple on Crocomire, so that's why I'm kind of surprised. But what kind of effect did it have?
Damage.
Oh, it just did some damage. Okay.
Well, continuous damage to be more exact.
Oh, wow.
I think that would be considered the ultimate tug of war with Croc. I think you just hear my fish tank that's actually right next to me.
Oh wait, I blanked out there for a moment. Oh, and Canadian Owl missing the speed booster, so he has to go the old way of using wall jumps. And now
with the way how the runners with the wall jumps, they make it look like a piece of cake.
Ooh, and Slaughter's just missing that the fastest way to get up the red tower. Like that's it's a pretty hard trick. For me at least it's pretty hard, so I just use the hero shot. Karen and Canadian Owl still being really close together. Alright, picking up some more power bombs and missiles here.
Well, this would be on any person. That would be the first PB packs that you pick up.
If you're going for the new route, definitely. Wait. Even if you're not going for the new route. Never mind, I've said nothing. Ooh, and Slaughter's having a little trouble trying to get out of that pit. And I really love this Shine Spark that Karen's doing right now, and Canadian Owl as well. I really like it. It just, like, you kill that Kek tank, or whatever it's called, the cactus, and you just boost through the other room.
In this room, I actually like the Shine Spark also, since in the next room you could just if you time it correctly, you could actually Shine Spark all the way over to the wreck ship door. If you jump all the way to the middle, you missile first, and you can Shine Spark all the way across.
Yeah, the Oceans Fly. I really like it. I personally do it with a regular missile, but I've seen a lot of people do it with a super missile. I don't know which one is better, but I only get it like 20% of the time. But when I get it, it's mostly with a regular missile.
Yeah, well, I only see one person actually just do the Shine Spark. I start the Shine Spark in the water mold area at the middle pillar to Shine Spark all the way to the wreck ship.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, what will Fantoon have for us today? Will he be the ultra generousest and give us fast? Or will he go full nut job and give us slow?
Well, what I would like to call Fantoon is Troll Toon, especially since Fantoon can't be the ultimate troll boss fight. And looks like we're gonna. Slaughter's is gonna start off with the X Factor against Phantom.
Yeah, I love the X Factor. It took me a long time to learn it, but when my younger brother demonstrated it to me, like, I've watched it on stream a couple of times, but I just didn't get it. And when my brother showed it to me, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And then I got it like next try. It was super cool. So let's see if Slaughter's, and he gets it nice.
And a second time. Can anybody tell us what the damage percentage of the X Factor? I don't think it's said on.
I think every particle is either 300 or 600, but it's probably 300. So, is your stream slightly ahead? So, like, did Phantoon just die on Slaughter's for you, or?
Yeah, Slaughter's just took out to Phantoon with 2 or 3 X Factors, then a super, I believe.
Okay, so we're still good. Yeah. Another thing I really like about this game is that the areas have 2 states. So first you have power down wrecked ship, and then you get powered on wrecked ship. Same with criteria. First it's like dormant, and then after that the enemies come out to play. I think that's another really cool thing you don't see enough in adventure games, or at least not at the time. So
yeah. I still wonder, how does Rex Ship turn back on when you actually take out Phantoon?
Well, my theory would be that Phantoon was draining the wrecked ship's power, and because Phantoon is dead, he can no longer drain the power, so it's restored. But that's just pure conjecture.
And we have a sync with Karen Connell and Canadian Owl against Phantoon. Well, just a split second difference, to be more exact. Karen Connell has two fast portions of Phantoon fight on the fights, and Phantoon is on the red. I think about one or two missiles, and the super missile will take a. Never mind. It just takes 3 X Factors to take Phantoon out.
Nice, very nice finishing of Karen with the X Factor there. Like I saw a crazy off-screen timed X Factor yesterday in a race, and I was so stunned. And a Canadian also wraps up, putting him slightly behind Karen. Will he be able to catch up?
And wow, I did not see how Slaughter's got past the spiky room of death. But he was at 62 energy.
Yeah, that's spiky room. Like the easiest way I found to do it consistently is basically jump into the door from the previous room, then you land on the first panel, the first platform, then jump to the next one and do a reverse damage or do a damage boost from it.
Yeah, I seen that also.
But Slaughter's going for the more classic approach of jumping across the platforms.
On his way back, that room could be so harsh, especially without the gravity suits. Since originally you're supposed to have the gravity suit to get through the spiky room of death.
Yeah, the developers might have wanted you to collect the gravity suit first and come back, but we as speedrunners say, nah. Oh, and a very, very nice, almost spotless attic, or I thought it was pretty...
Yeah, people have been calling the top room, the wreck ship, the attic.
Yeah, it's one of the few names of few names of the rooms I've actually heard on stream a bunch of times, so this one I know. I also know the worst room, and that was it. Oh, and the moat, or the missile lake.
The robot isn't playing nice for Slaughter's right there.
Yeah, as soon as he starts moving backward, I think you can no longer jump through him with while you're damaged, which I think is a amazing glitch, because waiting for these robots is a pain. waiting in general is a pain, and we're about to reach one of my least favorite parts of the game, commonly referred to as the bowling alley, because that's all waiting. But I suppose, like in a high-pace, technical game like this, might not be bad to have some little breaks here and there. But I'm personally not a fan of waiting.
Well, we could consider the bowling alley the what LTTP would consider the coffee break room.
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities between Link to the Past and Super Metroid, in the sense that you have to wait for a bunch of stuff too. If you're like, especially in Misery Mire, and I think also in Palace of Darkness, there are these rooms where you just have to wait for the wall to move right or left, and it feels like forever, man.
Scarsnake had a death right before fighting Kraid.
Yeah, so he opted not to continue. That's an interesting way to do the attic. I hadn't seen that before. The one by Canadian Owl. So Karen still being a little bit in the lead over Canadian Owl, while Sluder's now being, well, I'd say 4 rooms, maybe 4.5 rooms ahead. It's pretty big lead. And more robots, because who doesn't want to wait a little longer for the next power-up?
Usually, I see some runners actually, if they don't shine spark all the way to the Rizzo, they shoot at certain spots to make the robots fall into the holes before getting to the Rizzo.
Yeah, I tried it, but I didn't get it to work. But it's really cool because it eliminates waiting for those robots, so that's pretty awesome. Karen also having a little trouble getting that missile up there. We saw Sloders having struggled with that, but the good thing is that means Canadian Owl was able to close a bit of the gap. So now we have some more screen sync, which I think is awesome in any kind of race. Like, I love it when players are synced up.
Same here. It is pretty nice to see the runners get synced up and be like about a second or two apart from each other.
So now we can pay some attention to Sloders, as both Karen and Owl are taking their lunch break, or their summer vacation, or their pension, because this takes forever. Ooh, and we're about to see, after Sloders picks up this power bomb, we're about to see another wraparound shot. Oh, I love that wraparound.
This
especially
wraparound is really nice. Be able to shoot to the door, to the entrance to Gauntlet, then you could just shoot Shine Spark. Rather, you get to the platform below the sledge and Shine Spark all the way through Gauntlet to get the original the vanilla tank, and go through the back half of Gauntlet to get the vanilla missile packs, or
yeah 2 missile packs. And so this is where the wraparound truly has an advantage. In Crocomire, would you mess it up, or would you not be able to? Would you not know how to do the wraparound? You can always run, jump, and while you ascend, shoot a shot, and it will still open the door and allow you to shine spark towards the door where the power bomb room is. But here it actually allows you to just boost through this entire corridor filled with bomb blocks, which would otherwise take quite a while. Oh wow, I have never seen that before. That was really nice. That was some really nice wiggling on those crumble blocks.
The crumble blocks, if you just don't, if you don't land at the right spots, you only get to the one-sided, and that will be majorly bad.
Yeah, that happened to me in at a marathon once, and I was like, "Oh man, can I not go around it?" And he was like, "No man, it's 100%. You got to do it." So I was like, "Oh," and I had to do the walk of shame. It was a pretty painful experience. So I usually err on the side of caution, just because of it. Karen opting to go for the refill, which I can definitely understand. That's something I still do. But then I usually leave a wrecked ship with only 1 or 2 energy tanks. So okay, I really like this next part, that the where they teach you how to wall jump. It's really cool that the hidden or the secret techniques of this game
Yeah,
actually.
I do love these creators also.
Yeah, I mean, they still gotta die, but you know, I really appreciate that they at least wanted to teach me something before they get blown up with the planet. Because like back in the days when I was like 12 or something, me and one of my best friends, we came to this room and we didn't know how to wall jump, right? So we got here and we saved and we're like, yeah, we got to reset. You know, we're stuck. Only to find out years later that if we had paid some attention to those animals, we actually might have learned to wall jump. Here you see Canadian Owl taking it a little bit more slow on the crumble blocks, which I can definitely understand.
At the spot that we just saw, Slaughter jumps over since he was speed boosting. Still, if you don't actually jump over, you fall through the ground.
Yeah, and then you get to the secret spot where you're learned how to do a shine spark, which we did pick up on. So like the wall jumping stuff was we didn't pick up on that, but oh nice! Slaughter's getting back up. I haven't even done that trick. That's so cool.
If I remember correctly, that trick is about 2 seconds frame perfect to get that correct.
Ah, that would make sense. I do know that once you grab an item, like Slaughter's is doing right now, and you hold down a button, you can actually buffer the input. That's something really cool. So by that I mean, when you hold down the A button while you're standing next to an item, as soon as the item fanfare ends, you jump. If A is your jumping button, which I think for most people it is.
Yes, we didn't see how they had the control. Ooh, they got the sport. Slaughter got the sport skip on the first try. That's about 8 pixels to get that done correctly, I believe.
Yeah, I have a really stupid setup for that. I go a bit more to the back, and I use the speed booster speed to actually jump at a certain point. And I've gotten to do that consistent, but that looks way easier and a lot faster too if you know the right pixel. But getting that in one try, nice.
Well, it is a really hard trick to pull off. Just gotta be at the right pixel, and I've seen some people just bonk their head on the ceiling to get that trick done correctly. I actually did not know that.
Ooh, and Canadian Owl's just missing the Morph Ball shafts, Morph Ball tunnel. slightly increasing Karen's lead over him.
Getting the mock ball out of this, the short mock ball out is quite hard for me.
I also really like Brinstar. I like how diverse this area is. You have like the green jungle part, you have the pink sakura tree-like part, or whatever this leaves are. It actually kind of looks like dead leaves, like from or something like that. And then you have red Brinstar. Yeah, it looks really weird with the big lung in the background. I think it's a lung. I have no idea what it is.
I have a question on this route to the route that our runners.
See, what is that thing? It vexes me.
Wonder what's the
nice damage boost from Slaughter there.
Wonder what the strat that the runners will use against the shrimp. Are they gonna have a shock treatment for the shrimp or shine spark to make it tender? What do you think that we would see? Elvis? Seems like I lost my second comm for a few. Say hello to Mama Turtle for a split second. So here's the E-Tank in Mama Turtle's room. And here's the wall missiles.
Yeah, this is actually a cool fact about those little turtles. You can actually jump on them twice and they'll act like the turtle shells from the Super Mario games. And I didn't even discover that until I had to do it in a ROM hack where it was absolutely necessary to progress or to get an item. I was like, you can do that? Wow, that's so deep. This game is so deep. I'm so amazed by like the smallest little details this game has. And that missile in the wall there was actually the last item I've ever found, or like the first time when you're trying to get 100%, like we were searching like crazy and it was just there in the wall, but the X-ray can't reach that, so I thought it was pretty well hidden.
Yeah, not many people actually expect that. So, fun fact about Mama Turtle: don't mess with the babies. If you do, say a little too damage. Hell had no fury like a woman's horn.
Yeah, that's right. Like, but you can use her to like get out of the water. So if you miss a certain item, you could actually go up and use Mama Turtle to go up.
Yeah, that's true.
And a theme in Super Metroid is that because there are so many items, a lot of these items are paired to rooms, are paired in rooms, like we see here on Slaughter's side. So you have a lot of 2 for the price of 1. In some cases, even 3 for the price of 1. I think in Brinstar Green.
Also in Aqueduct room.
Aqueduct being...
Aqueduct is where the sand pits. It's just above the sand pits rooms.
Oh right, yeah. So they clustered a lot of items together, but I completely lost my train of thought there. Anyways, next up is Bot Woon. Will we see the quickest kill on this very nice mid boss?
Well, considering that we got Slaughter has his power bombs selected. He's gonna start off with a couple X-rays.
Ooh, that was a very nice quick will from Sloders.
I hope that Slaughter's gonna get the Shine Spark all the way through the Coliseum room.
Boom, and there we have a full halfie. Nice. That is a very tight trick to get.
Some runners actually I heard from a couple commentators. The room that Slaughter's just went through, Shine Spark through, it is called the Coliseum.
Okay. And here we have Dragoon. And you know what I really like about this game is, I may have said this before. Oh, and he gets the thingy. He gets the thingy first try. That's very nice.
Blue Bomber.
It's called that. I think it looks pretty cool. It allows you to store a Shine Spark while not having blue suit handicapped momentum.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's called spike suits, I believe.
Wow, that's some nice spike suiting from Sloders there. Like, I get that first try some of the time, but he's got it down. Very nice. Yeah, so what I like there about Dragoon, like aside from the boss designs being very dark, like Dragoon having some skulls on her head, is that at the start of the fight, like her babies are cowering. Oh, Mama is coming, and then after you pump her full of missiles, like she hits the ground, and their baby's like, oh, we're gonna eat our mother. And it's very dark. Like for a Nintendo game, this is dark. I like it.
Never thought of that. To answer, I'm not sure what kind of question that is to Zomdro. Are you asking about the any person tournament that's going on, or are you talking about the weekly races?
Was that question directed at me or at chat?
Chat.
Okay, cool.
Zomdro asked a question that's how often are the 80% races? If you're talking about the weekly races, each week is a different category.
So there's a Super Metroid race every week, but the category switches around.
Yeah.
Now for some backtracking to get to all this sandpit room for Sloders.
Like today, we're having right now we're having 100%, and the race that is tonight is 100% also.
All right, let's see if Canadian Owl also gets. Wait, did Canadian Owl pull ahead? Did I must have drifted off. Meanwhile, we have some more waiting for Sloders. Don't you just love waiting?
Say hello to Shacktool, the one place that's on randomizer or 80% you don't actually see.
Oh, he's actually removed from Rendo?
No, he's not actually removed, but you don't actually see him during Randall unless the spring ball spot actually has an important item.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day on a Zelda Super Metroid Cross randomizer, where I had to where the hook shot was there. So that was a ton of fun. Because, like I mentioned before, there's nothing I love more than waiting.
I actually seen some runners just if Shaq Tool Spring Ball doesn't have anything, they just kill Shaq Tool for it. Well, considering that there's only two ways to actually get to Shaq Tool. One is to have grapple, space jump, or high jump. Two, if you know how to ice clip up into the Shaq Tool room.
Kinda. I found it a little bit hard to set up. It's like the grapple is obviously easier. I don't even know if the current world record does the ice clip. It probably does. Like I haven't checked in a while, but I remember people talking about the ice clip not being worth it because if you mess it up once, you're already losing time from it. Canadian Owl having a little bit of Shine Spark struggles.
I never could get a short charge Shine Spark in this room. I can't even get it done in the lava dive room.
Wow, that was a nice skill. Well, I think it's a little easier in Dragoon's room than it is before the lava spark. Not completely sure, but I've only gotten the lava spark like once or twice, and I can do it semi-consistently in this room. So, based on that experience, I'd say this is easier, but it's still learning how to 2-tap or 3-tap or whatever tap or stutter step and actually do it. If you're not used to it, yeah, I can understand. Like it.
I believe it's some runners actually do the two-step, starter step to get across, and we get Canadian Owl getting all the way through Coliseum with no problem on his first try. Usually, that's placement of the Shine Spark is actually a little tricky, I think.
Well, I've actually never even bonked there, but I have seen people. Oh, and Karen accidentally pressing the run button, losing her blue suit. That is a shame. But yeah, the positioning is precise because if you Shine Spark a little too high, you hit one of the
ceiling.
Yeah, thank you. One of the ceilings. I was gonna say stick out points, and that was definitely good English right there. So here we have the.
Ooh, I like how Slaughter did that. So, blue bomber jumped right there.
That's also a trick I haven't even learned yet, but it looks so cool. Like there's still like no matter how good you get in this game, like there's still so much to learn.
Way too many tricks to learn.
Yeah, but I think like the feeling you get from pulling off these tricks, maybe even more so than any other speedrun, but that might be a biased opinion. The kind of rewarding feel you get from pulling off the harder tricks or timing it just right, it's amazing.
And here we are in the sand pits. So the right sand pits from Slaughters and the left sand pit from Canadian Owl and Karen Kono.
Yeah, they still have to go to the waiting room where they have to wait 3.5 years to actually progress.
Canadian Owl having a little trouble with that, getting the grapple onto the grapple block and up to Shaq's hole.
Yeah, the space jump really needs to behave. Like, I think there are certain frames, or after a certain amount of frames, if you press jump while space jumping, it actually says nope, and you just fall down.
I think it's some precise with that. and Canadian Slaughter is back in creating getting the fireball bomb, and we having the moonwalk from Canadian and Shaq Tool.
Yeah, really paying tribute to Michael Jackson right there. And Slaughter's getting that missile that I so often forget in my 100% runs. Like if I missed a missile, it's usually this missile. Because I always forget, like when I'm coming out of Meridia, I want to go straight to Norfair, but I'm like, oh right, there's this missile.
Yeah, Slaughter's actually getting the jump back up with no problem on his first try. That is quite tricky. After getting the missile pack, it's about a few seconds to pull it off.
You mean from getting the missile and then bouncing back up?
I was able to jump back up, but then go back into Morphball I had to get back out.
Oh yeah, but it's actually really pretty easy. You can just hold down the A button after unmorphing, or even in morph because you have the jump ball or the spring ball. So you can buffer. Like this is a fairly easy way to get across chromo blocks.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like there's so much stuff to discover, to learn. You think you know how something works, and then boom.
That somebody found something else how to break the game.
Like Moonfall is a pretty recent discovery. I think I'm saying recent, but it's like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. But for me, it was pretty recent. I was like, whoa, you can do that. And especially in the long shaft in Turian, like I was like, wow, this is so cool.
You mean old
try this
Turian?
Everywhere.
Old Turian?
Yeah, like the exit shaft, behind the old or before the old Mother Brain room.
That reminds me, our runners need to head back there to get, or is that on the way out? I'm not sure exactly how the routing works to 400%.
Yeah, I think it's when you get out of
Norfair.
Yeah. And then maybe go via Brinstar Green to Brinstar Blue. It's been so long. I didn't know I was this out of. Wow, my mind just went there. I really like this room, in Canadian Isles Inn right now, and of course Karen too. Ooh, and a lava spurk from Slaughter's there. Very nice.
That is tricky to do.
By the way, these two rooms, like the Ridley mouth room and then the paws, I think they look so cool. And the Ridley mouth part actually looked so cool that Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night designers were like, yeah, we gotta implement that. Like, besides, of course, stealing the map from this game, they were like, yeah, we gotta pay tribute to this awesome game. And here we have Golden Chorizo's more passive brother.
Funny thing about this, Chorizo, he will not activate unless he has space jump.
Oh, so that's why that. Like I always thought, like, why isn't he activating? I mean, it must have been because I didn't beat Dragon, which is basically the same thing as getting the space jump in, almost the same thing in vanilla, anyways. But thank you, I did not know that. See, you gain some knowledge right there.
I actually learned about that from the combo randomizer. Unless you have space jump, that GT will not activate.
So this is another really cool trick. Like if you're close enough to Gold Chorizo, you can just sit next to him and his attacks will never hit you.
Not only says you could just stand there and just aim up to hit the GT, since the spot that you're at, you'll never receive damage.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. and the screw attack, which looks so awesome. Like you have this little green lightning surrounding you, and it kills basically everything, I think. Like aside from Metroids, it's just absolute murder.
Yeah, the only thing that screw attack do to the Metroids is make them bounce off of you.
Yeah, it makes
And the hardest shine spark in the room for the sloters.
And here we have the worst room in the game. It's not really the worst room in this category, but I've been told like on other categories it's actually horrible.
Yeah, well, on 80%, you don't have shine spark. Not shine spark, screw attack.
True, but I think the setup there's a really good consistent setup with the power bomb, which slows you down, and then you can do like a pixel perfect wall jump, if I recall correctly. Might be a little worse on low percent, but I think on any percent it's still pretty doable. But yeah, I don't know why people call it the worst room in the game, but it's I'll just roll with it.
And here we have the red key hunters. No matter how strong your beam is, it won't take it out with one shot unless you decide to use screw attack on them.
Yeah, and this is also a really cool trick, like that you can, as long as your beam is making contact with them or with enemies, you can actually run through them, and this is especially useful for the key hunters.
The iframes.
Yeah, because they're being hit, so you can just walk through, and I think it's just hilarious. And here we're gonna see a platform skip, not a double one, but I think it's called a Keiko or something.
And time for the two ninja pirates.
Wow. That is also a really cool strat. I have never seen that strat before. That is so cool. Like, my strat is such a basic strat compared to that.
Way better than I can. I see some of the top runners that actually just do shine spark trick on them.
Yeah, my short charging isn't good enough to do like the ultra strats or the best strats, but that one actually looked like it was in my range, so I gotta make a mental note of that.
Slaughter is using the beam combination that does 900 damage, and it takes 20 charge shots to take out. Really, I'm actually surprised that he decided to go with that. So then using, wait, actually, never mind. Don't have enough super missiles on hand to take it really out with that. Wait, actually, was it 18 beam shots? Charging shots?
It's 20. It's 20. He turns red at 11, and but it's 20 charged plasma beam shots, making Ridley a really easy boss fight whenever you have the plasma, in my personal opinion. But like once you really get close and intimate with Ridley, like having the plasma beam makes it a fairly easy fight, but that also might depend on if you've tried low percent or any percent with the spacer, because you have to hit him so much more times. Like, I think with the spacer it's about 60 times if you don't use X Factor, and with just ice it's, even with your super missiles and missiles combined, it's like 132 or something, or 123, and without the ice beam, so just regular charge shots, it's a whopping 200 shots. So that's all the fun. Like, I love battling Ridley for 5 minutes on end.
Actually, well,
very nice.
Slaughter getting that on the first try. That's clip, I mean.
Oh yeah, nice. Like, I've never even done that, but I usually use like more of the room to short charge, but Slaughter's really got that short charge down. It's very nice.
Yeah, the short charge into the Mach Ball, or is it called the Blue Bomber?
I think some people might call it Speedball. I'm not sure. I just call it the Speed Mach Ball, whatever.
Where Scarsnake died is at the eye door before Kraid. Karishi. I'm not sure how to say your name.
Yeah, I think that's like about 80% of Twitch, just like trying to guess how to pronounce people's names.
Very true.
Like my name is actually pronounced Elpis because it's from the Greek for hope. But people call me Elpis all the time, and I'm like, whatever, whatever works for you. As long as I know you're talking to me, it's all good. I don't think a lot of people actually mind if you pronounce their name not super perfect or anything. I think they appreciate the effort.
Well, I actually do try to say the people's name correctly.
Yeah, definitely. If they mention it how it's pronounced, I'll always try to do that. But like some things are a little harder to adapt to, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you just read something and just like, oh yeah, that's how it's pronounced, and you're completely wrong, and I love it.
The room that I didn't mention before, but the room that Canadian Owl was in, if you just since he just destroyed the far left top blocks, if you don't go up, if you decide to just go straight, those are crumble blocks.
Yeah, so you would have to do in a whole other loop around, so you really want to avoid those crumble blocks.
Yeah, that'd be harsh. The harshest area, since it's right above the restroom, top left of the restroom area. So basically, we have. Here's the order of who's in the lead. Slower is in first place. Canadian All is in second place, about to fight Ridley. And Karen Kono is in third place of the three runners that are left.
This is the missile Sloders is getting now is also a missile if I'm a bit rusty, I tend to forget this one. Meanwhile, we have Canadian Owl getting to Ridley. Which with all this health and ammo should definitely not pose any problem.
These guys make Ridley look like child's play, while I still have difficulty with Ridley. And Canadian Owls I started off with the super missile strats since it does double the damage for some very weird reason.
Yeah, and because of the super missiles fire faster, it's a higher damage per second. Even though the plasma beam charged ice wave plasma does 900, it would be faster to use 30 supers. But I guess using a couple of supers would also just speed up the general pace.
And really, is down. All that's left to do is get the missed pickups, and we are done. And Slowly is heading to the X-ray. Vanilla X-ray room, since that is a necessary item to pick up for the 100%.
Yeah, and don't you just like back in the day? I just loved switching weapons, and while I was running, and then accidentally turn on the X-ray scope. I really love that.
The one trick I like with the X-ray is the microwave beam. Funny thing.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It doesn't work on either Ridley or Mother Brain, but it works wonders on Phantoon and Dragoon.
And Botwoon.
Oh, it works on Botwoon too. I haven't even tried it there, But the plasma beam makes quick work of anything. Like Spore Spawn, Bomb Chorizo, and Crate looks the wackiest when he's being killed with the... I mean Crocomire. Sorry, Crocomire looks the wackiest when he's killed with the plasma beam. Especially if you keep shooting, you see all these like yellow orbs. It's really weird. But really cool.
Charge plasma against Croc. It just takes one shot. Just one shot of charge beam plasma against Croc. Say bye-bye. See you next time.
Yeah, poor Crocomire. He just wanted a hug. And here we have the final cleanup of the game. A little bit of Brinstar Blue followed by Criteria. While Karen has just defeated Ridley and Canadian Owl making his way through the almost absolute pitch black.
One of the dark rooms that Super Metroid has.
Yeah, that's another really cool thing, and they pay tribute to it in Metroid Prime 1, I think, where you have these like glow bugs. If you kill them, the room actually becomes darker. It's just another little detail that I think is really cool.
From what I was told, that the glow bugs are actually called fire fleas.
That could very well be. Like, I know a handful of enemy names, but like I know the horizontal brown floaty thingies on the red tower are called Rippers, which I think is a pretty cool name.
Yeah, they're called Rippers. Those are just the regular Rippers, and there's the other Rippers that go fast.
Yeah, and I actually have the manual for the big manual in the big box Super Metroid, and it says in the manual that the Rippers cannot be killed. You know, I walked up to one of those Rippers and I pumped him with a super missile and he died. So imagine my shock.
Yeah, I found that out too. Not too long ago, since Super. You can either kill them with super missiles or screw attack, and they're just gone.
So Slaughter's picking up the last of the 3 upgrades, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's not it. Don't you mean the missile pack?
Yeah, the last pickups, the missile, then the super missile, and the last missile, I think.
Oh yeah, since there's the one in the Torrent climb behind the wall right here, then there's the one in the Criteria. Wait, actually, this is called the old Torrent still.
Yeah, but for me, this is like, it's on the Criteria map, so it's Criteria now. I know it's Alturian, but I'll call this Criteria too.
Well, I wasn't trying to correct you. I just like to call it Old Torrent.
Oh, no worries, man. Like I was just explaining my reason for calling it. So yeah. So getting the reserve tanks. How do you feel about reserve tanks? Do you like the reserve tanks?
If I see them on the randomizer, I say, don't need it. I'll just leave.
Yeah, same. There are actually some really cool tricks, I think, with dying and using the reserve energy tank in the bowling alley. You can actually skip waiting on the chorizo walking you down, but it's a frame perfect start press. So I tried it a bunch of times and it doesn't really seem feasible for RTA runs, but in the past it looked super cool.
I never knew that. Since there is a trick that you can do Crystal Flash to refill all your energy, and there's basically enough ammo count to actually do it, I don't know, about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, like, and in rando even more, because like you can, yeah, like if you're truly desperate, you can always switch to that.
Thing is, with the Crystal Flash, you can't. You have to have 50 energy and no reserves to use it.
Yeah, and 10 plus of everything, plus an additional power bomb to activate it.
For the beam combos, you just need to switch off all the beams, have the charge beam on, and one of the other beams to do the beam. I forget what it's known as.
The beam combo.
Beam combos.
Yeah, but for the Crystal Flash, you need 10 missiles, 10 supers, and 10 power bombs, plus the 11 power bomb for the activation. Like that trick, like it was shown in the demo on the start screen. I was like, how do you do that? And only years later on the internet, I found like, oh, you gotta hold down all these buttons. And then it became almost completely useless. I think there's only for the ammo underflow on Dragoon. It's only the only real use it has for a speedrunning thing in RTA setting. And here Slaughter's making some quick works of those last Metroids.
Are we gonna see him do the baby Metroid skip, or are we gonna see the fill, or are we gonna see the Zeeb skip?
I think like from everything I've seen from Slaughter so far, we can, like I say, there's a pretty big chance for the baby skip. Like the Zebetide skip is guaranteed, and let's hope also for the stand-up. I don't know if he's going for it, but I really like that you can basically, while you're supposed to sit, and there we have the baby skip. Very nice from Slaughters. That you can, while the baby's supposed to be on you and you're supposed to sit down and wait, you can actually just, with the baby on top of you, you can just keep pumping Mother Brains. Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I see a lot of the combo randomizer runners, they can't get the zero shots on phase 3 of the Mother Brain fights. Ooh, and Slaughter went for the Shine Spark through the Zeeb skip.
Very smooth. Mother Brain 1 not being a problem at all in this category.
But I found something interesting with, you know, the glass tube that's around Mother Brain, right?
Yeah.
You could destroy it, leave the room, when you come back, it's not, Mother Brain doesn't have the glass tube around it.
Oh wow. That's pretty crazy. So, what I really like about this fight is that Mother Brain is just, you can see she has really let herself go. Like she's drooling, her breath is bad, and she looks like a total grandmother. But she's still throwing all that ketchup at you.
And Slaughter just finished with phase 2 with little trouble, and let's see if, since Slaughter just brought himself down to 7 E-tanks left, so he's gonna go for the standard glitch.
Nice. I love this charging sound effect.
Too bad with he does the Mother Brain does the rainbow beam. It actually does no damage after Mother Brain do the rainbow beam. So all the damage you do to it after Mother Brain launches the rainbow beam, it does nothing. And you have to wait until it gets to this point, I believe.
Yeah, you gotta be a gentleman and just wait for Mother Brain to sit down and then start pumping her full of plasma. But look how this looks so funny. Like the Super Metroid, I'm gonna call it Super Metroid because it's so big I can't even call it a baby anymore. The Super Metroid is just so big and it's completely over Samus. And if you overlap your beam's hitbox with Mother Brain's face, it actually works.
What are you talking about there, Smolder?
Really like this rainbow effect on Samus and on Mother Brain. It's very flashy.
It's actually called the. Yeah, I actually forgot now.
The rainbow
Hyper
effect?
Beam.
Yeah, the hyper beam. Yeah, I know. I just like the effect. I don't know if you see it in any other Super Nintendo games. You probably do, but I think it's just like this game is already so pretty, and that just like it just. Yeah, it's just so pretty. Oh, and wow, what a... that is a very cool escape trick. Of course that's faster than Shine Sparking.
Yeah, nice. That's the Blue Bomber jump, I believe. Unless somebody else actually do know what it's called.
And he is not using a fast fall for this part, for some reason. And meanwhile, Canadian Owl entering the golden statue room.
Sad fact is you can't. You just had to sit there and wait until all the eye goes out to actually traverse to the new torrent area.
Yeah, like, but at this point in the game, you've already waited so much. Like, I feel it's not that big of a deal anymore. I mean, like, the total time of waiting in this game is around, let's see, we have 100 fanfares and they're all 7 seconds, so at least 700 plus seconds of waiting. So, you know, you can add another 20 or 30, it's okay. Oh, and I don't know what Sloders did there, but GG's to Sloders with a time of one. Oh, I should probably check the Speed Racing channel.
SRL, you mean?
Yeah, that's sorry. And Sloders has finished first place with an official SRL time of 1:21:55.
This is why I don't speedrun Super Metroid. There's way too many tricks to learn.
Yeah, but 100% is like, aside from the tricks, like 100% is probably the best category to start with because it's more lenient. Like the hardest parts are figuring, when you're starting out, it's figuring out the routing, making sure you don't forget an item, but the bosses are basically free. There's not a whole lot of things that can go wrong, except maybe like early game you might die if you take too much damage. But other than that, it's fairly, compared to some of the other categories, I'd say it's a very good starting point. And I love that little bomb trick Canadian Owl just used. Just let all those Metroids latch onto you, place a little bomb, and boom, 340 price of 1.
Well, with that, well, it's not actually considered a trick to be exact. It is. If you let the Metroids latch onto you, it takes 3 power bombs to take them out.
Only if you don't have an ice beam weapon. Like, you can just use a regular bomb and get them off of you, like Canadian Owl just demonstrated, and I really like that.
And here's Canadian Owl going for the baby skip.
Nice!
Almost got latch a couple times, but it was a close call.
Yeah, but it still saves some time, right? Like I was asking some questions in Discord about this, and I already forgot how much time you lose by every time it circles around you.
45. If you don't get the skip, I think it takes about 30 to 40 seconds time loss.
All right. Yeah, so depending on how many times it spins around you, like that's like you could skip the baby, and I think 3 or 4 jumps might be ideal, and then you'd get the most out of it, but it's still worth doing even if you do 5 or 6 jumps, I think. Not 100% on this, but That's my. I think I do 4 or 5 jumps, like when I get it, and it's not super frequent. And Canadian Owl just laying in with on Mother Brain with super missiles. Will Karen also get the baby skip?
That is the question of the day. Are we gonna have a full-fledged baby skip, or are we gonna have a miss skip?
I'm all for that triple baby skip hype. Oh, I shouldn't have hyped it. I'm sorry, Karen, it's all my fault. Like,
Yeah,
so
let's
cute.
see if we have 100% from Slaughter's, and we're gonna see.
Oh wow.
He got 100%. I just added
Loafer,
15% there.
Floater's,
1% run.
Floater's finishing with a whopping 15%.
Now that's just a low. What's actually the lowest percent that he could get in the run?
The lowest percent I think was 14. Like from without out of bounds stuff. Like I think the lowest with all the crazy stuff is 2, 3, or 1%. I think. Like it's been a while since I checked, but like for no X-ray clipping out of bounds nonsense, it's 14, or I think it was 14. It's been so long. It might even be 13 now. I think there also was a category for 12%, but that included the X-ray factor.
Hey, how does that have to work then?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I was asking someone in chat. So
Okay, good.
Let's see, are we gonna get to 0? Never mind, just one or two shots on the final phase of Mother Brain 4, Canadian Owl.
Nice. Like the best I've gotten is maybe 3 to 5.
Where Skarsnik died, Lunatic is the I-beam door in front of Trade.
And Canadian Owl opting for the classic way to speed boost through there. I still use that today.
Same here, since I don't know how to do the blue bomber jump.
I love that. The fact that if you jump out of a moonwalk with holding L, like it completely removes the cap on Samus's falling speed. That's so cool.
And
so when you see when you're doing the stand-up glitch, there's actually a small moment there where the game actually locks you into position if you're on the ground. But the cool thing is you can actually use the X-ray scope to get yourself in stand-up position again. So not all is lost. I think it's pretty cool. And GG's to Canadian Owl.
With a time of either with an SRL time of 1 hour 28 and 57 seconds. So he actually improved that time by 2 minutes and 31 seconds in new PB.
Congratulations on that new PB, Canadian Owl.
I actually learned this a while back, not too long ago. Is that if you decide to save animals, for some weird reason, if you stayed in the room for a little bit longer, you could see the mama turtle escape.
Oh, now you're just making stuff up, aren't you?
Oh, I asked that once, but somebody chat, I forgot when said that she does show up. As I said, I'm not even sure if it's actually true or not.
It sounds like a hoax to me.
Yeah, it sounds like it also, but as I said, I never tried.
I think you just really like Mama Turtle and want her to be safe. And I understand it, you know. I feel you, bro.
It's not true 100% if you don't save the animals.
But it is the true 100% if you kill them all. Like, imagine just taking the time to kill every single animal on this planet. Like, every room you go to, you just kill them all.
Well, you are killing the space pirates when you're escaping. Like, actually, they're not animals. They're mecha, I think. Machines, I think.
No, space pirates are definitely animals. They're like humanoid crustaceans. Or at least that's how they appear in this game. And GG's to Karen.
With the with the SRL time of 1 hour 1 minutes and 7 seconds. GG, Karen.
Wow, that ended up being really close between Canadian and Karen, so that was pretty cool. Slaughter's taking quite a bit of distance as expected from his PB. Nice.
Well, when you think about it, this could be this could be considered a partial 100%, but a true 100% could be considered as saving the animals to be the true 100%.
Yeah, but that would make it like max percent or something. Like I've seen other games use max percent when something isn't required for 100% or 100% isn't gettable. And there we see Kenji Yamamoto in the credits, like a great composer. Alright, I'm gonna see if we can get one or all of the runners in for an interview.
One thing I actually can't figure out is how did they bring back Ridley in the other games? Since we know that considering that on the other games, you actually kill Ridley, and somehow Ridley comes back, and then there's the Prime series that so you had to deal with Meta really.
Yeah, but Prime is actually before Super Metroid, if I recall correctly. I think it's even before Metroid 2, but I'm not 100% on that.
Well, there is a timeline for all the games, but I actually forgot the exact order.
Yeah, but Ridley gets revived a bunch of times. I think they even went on a tangent in Other M, the game we do not speak about, like how Ridley is revived. But yeah, that game was just a train wreck. Like just the cutscenes alone. I've only seen the cutscenes, and I'm like, yep, ignoring that. I'm also ignoring Federation Force.
I don't think Federation Force is part of the canon story.
Like the only thing I want to do with Federation Force is load it into a cannon and shoot it across the sea, like to an island where nobody will ever find it.
And all three runners who have 100% unless you count Teslas just decide to put the 15% on his screen.
15%, of course, being the true 100%.
If you like what you see from our runners today, go ahead and give them a follow. My name's Kiro286. And my partner in crime over here, Upis. Do you have anything you want to add before we decide to go off?
Well, thanks Speed Gaming for hosting this. Thanks for allowing me to do commentary. Thanks for doing commentary with me. I'd like to thank the players. Thanks to Skarsnik, Karen, Canadian Owl, and Sloders. It was a pretty cool race, and I feel privileged that I was able to do some commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And see you guys on the next mission.